Finally, the sun is shining. It is incredibly windy, but it is a small payoff to make for temperatures that might be pushing 70 degrees. Welcome aboard. Defiance High School is the location. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller as DCTV Sports is pleased to bring you the first broadcast of Defiance softball here this afternoon as they welcome the Fairview Apaches. Our pregame brought to you by our sponsor, Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, located on North Clinton Streets in down Defiance. Check out their great selection of new and used vehicles in person, or if you can't get there on the lot, feel free to log on and check them out on the World Wide Web at drivebobestel.com. All right, Scoop, let's just go ahead and address the elephant in the room right now. You've got two teams that are, I don't want to say transposed to each other here, but the Bulldogs with a strong open in the non-conference, 7-3 overall, 1-0 in the WBL. The Apaches at 7-6, 1-0 in the GMC, but looking for a bit more consistency. With that said, all bets are off on an afternoon where the flags, that means the wind, ladies and gentlemen, are blowing straight out to any field. 205 is probably more like 180, maybe 175 this afternoon, as we're looking at 30 to 35 mile-an-hour winds. There is going to be no such thing as a routine fly ball today.
I think you're exactly right, Brent. And also, Defiance coming off a tough 4-3 setback against Bowling Green on Saturday, where they gave up 3 runs the top first. Could not overcome that in a 4-3 loss, but during that loss, they only had 3 hits. I look for that to change today with warmer weather, the wind blowing out. Look for these Defiance bats to come out red hot here this afternoon.
They certainly have some offensive firepower, not the least of which is future Ball State Cardinal shortstop Ava Cullen. Again, we will break down her stats over the course of this season and last year, but this is a kid that hit over 500 a season ago. I'm looking, granted, a relatively small sample size, but 10 games into the season, I think it's enough to give you some consistency. She's batting .406 right now, but Natalie Ordway, a freshman, at .346. Addie Roth, another underclassman, at .389. Ada Miller, another underclassman, at .333. And then Ellie Ward at .364. So, again, if you are Natalie Ordway, again, freshman pitcher, you don't necessarily need to feel that you've got to strike every batter out, not necessarily from a defensive standpoint, but offensively, my guess is they're going to give her some run support this afternoon.
Well, that's a great point because Defiance comes in averaging 6.8 runs per contest through the early season. I think with the temperatures and those bats you talked about in the lineup, they're going to be a threat to score runs each and every inning. I don't think it really matters where they're at in the order. They're going to have some firepower, and I think the important thing for the young pitcher, just throw strikes, eliminate freebies, trust your defense. And, again, I think you're going to get good run support here from this Bulldog offense.
You pretty much gave the keys to Fairview. Again, in talking with Coach Dumeier, very young team. It's been a roller coaster ride at 7-6 overall. As we mentioned, 1-0 in the GMC. They were 9-10 overall last year, 3-4, just a game below 500 in the Green Meadows Conference. But it's been a matter of the clutch hit. I took a look at the batting average with runners in scoring position, and they have left a lot aboard, double digits aboard. I think it was 12.4 runners aboard per ball game. Likewise, it's not when you boot the ball around, it's maybe when you boot the ball around. They are averaging almost 3 errors per ball game, and I simply asked her, I said, this has been feast or famine. They have won games 17-13. They have lost games 12-3. And she goes, we're just striving for consistency. She goes, I don't want spectacular play. We just want you to be consistent. Not too high, not too low. They're still trying to learn that with a young roster.
Well, they are, and she knows her team very well. And really, offense has not been the issue, as you alluded to, Brent. We talked about the productive Defiance offense putting up 6.8 runs a game. Meanwhile, Fairview 7.6 runs per game. So they're also hitting .376 of the team. They have an on-base percentage north of .420. So they're setting the table. They're getting people aboard. But you mentioned it, those 2-out clutch hits with runners in scoring position. They have to produce when they get those scoring opportunities against this Defiance team that's always solid, sitting at 7-3 right now.
Again, Defiance has finished their warm-ups. You see Fairview out to take advantage of it as well. You can probably hear the wind blowing over our crowd mics. It is an absolute zephyr here this afternoon, blowing straight out to all fields. It will be crucial, no matter which pitcher is in the circle, to keep the ball down in the zone today. We'll break down both pitchers in just a minute. We're going to take a quick timeout. We are back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues back at Defiance. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller saying thank you for joining us this afternoon. Temperatures pushing 70, maybe just above 70, but the winds extremely gusty right now. There you take a look at it. Yeah, it feels like 71, but those winds, I tell you what, they are a lot stronger than 15 miles an hour, I'll guarantee you. The flag wouldn't be almost straight if it were just 15 miles an hour. Scoop, I think you can double that and maybe still not quite be there. So, again, anything to the outfield or anything in the air, period, is going to get a little help from Mother Nature today.
Well, it was really gusty driving in. The car was getting blown all over the place. I was afraid somebody was going to think I was texting and driving, which is a no-no, but that's how gusty it was. So look for anything up in the jet stream today. No such thing as a routine ball, and some of these balls couldn't find their way out of the yard here this afternoon.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups. First, the batting order for the visiting Apaches of Fairview. 7-6 overall, 1-0 in the GMC. And here you take a look at it. And again, Kayla Mavis A senior second baseman will lead things off. Mavis, again, you're taking a look at some interesting batting averages here, but Kayla Mavis in particular hitting .333 to lead it off. Samantha Kuhlman will bat second. She is a sophomore, roaming right field. Batting third, Courtney Grinnell seems to be miss everything, and why not? The senior shortstop hitting .548 on the season. She has already scored 16 runs with 19 RBI in the 3-hole. Your designated hitter will be Adrian Peck. Peck, again, entering today's contest. Well, I'm looking for here, and I don't see her. To the bottom, 323. Way to hide in the very last line of the stat line. Amaya Perez will be the first baseman, the sophomore. Again, Amaya Perez hitting .359. Again, looks like murderer's row with 7 RBI. She's averaging almost 1 a game. Sammy Mavis will be behind the plate, the sophomore catcher. She's hitting .318. Madison Sharp, roaming center field, the senior. Sharp is hitting .378. Batting in the 8-hole will be your pitcher, Lily Warner, just a freshman. We'll break down her stats in the circle, but Warner hitting .350, and then batting ninth, it will be your third baseman, Liberty Vogelsong. Vogelsong hitting a robust .486 out of the 9-hole. Let's go ahead and take a look at the defense that Defiance will put on the field against that robust offense. Again, for the Bulldogs, it will be the freshman, Lily Warner. In the circle, Lily Warner, let's go ahead and break her down as well. Lily Warner this season, pardon me, not Lily Warner. My goodness, let's flip it over. Natalie Ordway, there we go. Natalie Ordway, again, just a freshman, 1-0 in just 2 appearances with a 0.88 ERA. With some of the roster changes they've had over the last week, she is getting pressed into service, but again, as you talked about it, you don't need to do too much with a veteran ball club here this afternoon if you're Natalie Ordway. I think we'll see if she's getting plenty of ground ball outs this afternoon.
Well, you're right. I think she just has to have that confidence out there. I think first pitch strikes will go a long way today, but this is the Fairview team that's very aggressive, so I look for the Apaches to come out swinging. The Apaches have only drawn 30 walks all season in 13 games, so they're up there free swinging. I think that might help Ordway out here this afternoon as well.
I might have inadvertently said Ordway is a freshman. She is a sophomore. It's an all-sophomore battery as Chloe Seiler completes the other half of it. She's got the gear on behind the plate as she takes over for Caceres, who was a tremendous senior leader last season. From left to right on the infield, it goes junior, senior, freshman, senior. Bella Gutierrez at third, Ava Cullen at short, Addie Roth at second, and Myra Jalad at first. From left to right in the green, it's sophomore, junior, freshman, Ellie Ward, Bella Rollison, and freshman, Addie Warner. You see Defiance in their home blues from top to bottom. Fairview in their traveling black uniforms with the gold lettering and numerals, as we are inching ever closer to first pitch. And again, a situation here where I know you've got, technically, if you want to call it big conference versus small conference, WBL versus GMC. But as we've seen over the course of multiple seasons, I don't care what the sport, but especially softball, Scoop, there is plenty of high-level talent no matter what conference you're talking, no matter how big, no matter how small here in Northwest Ohio.
Well, there's no question about it, and that's why Fairview loves to play a team like Defiance. They're going to be tested. They're going to maybe be exposed here a little bit in some areas. But Fairview is going to compete. Last year we had that game in Sherwood, kind of nip and tuck there for a while before the Bulldogs were able to pull away with a 7-1 victory. But Fairview coming off an impressive sweep of NWAL full Evergreen as they took out the Vikings 10-8 and 11-0. So 21 runs put up on Saturday by the Apaches. So, again, they have that robust offense. Looking for this to be a slugfest here this afternoon.
Both these teams have really had a lot of meat on the bone when it comes to the non-conference portion of the schedule. Again, Defiance is a good example. Open things up against Napoleon. Obviously, Archbold, and you take a look at that same Wasion team that you were talking about. And then Perrysburg and Anthony Wayne, Bowling Green, a tough 4-3 loss. They're going up class in most of those schools. And you're talking about a different conference in the LLL, but they haven't dodged anybody. On the flip side for the Apaches, likewise, I'm looking at Montpelier, Bryan, who obviously made a heavy run in the postseason last year. They beat Lincoln View 17-13. As a matter of fact, if I counted correctly, 5 of their first 13 games were teams that made it past the sectionals last season. So, again, both these teams come in here very battle-tested.
Yeah, that's important because when you get in the thick of things as far as your respective conference races, you want to be tested. You want to have seen some great pitching. You want to have your defense tested. And I think we'll see all that here this afternoon.
Now you take a look at some pleasantries and the lineup cards being exchanged at home plate between Coach Paris and Coach Dumeyer. Getting ready to get after it here this afternoon. Warm afternoon, finally spring-like temperatures. 71 degrees, although the wind is gusting. We're guessing probably about 30, maybe plus miles an hour. Not that it's going to make it cool, but what it is going to do is affect play here this afternoon, especially on anything hit in the air. You're going to have to be patient, but you're also maybe going to have to be anticipatory on an afternoon like today. And there you take a look at the Bulldogs dugout, staying loose prior to first pitch. I might need a stretch of tape just to keep my defensive
See, I'm running out of paperweights to keep my lineup card down and some stats.
But again, I think everybody here at the field today, and especially the players, would say, okay, you want to give us 30-mile-an-hour winds, but give us 71 degrees. They'll take that trade every day of the week.
Oh, no doubt about it. You don't see everyone wrapped in blankets and hoodies and so forth and all layered up. It certainly feels like you said 70-plus degrees, and we'll certainly take it. Fairview coming in on a 2-game win streak. Defiance has lost 3 of 4, but don't let that fool you. You mentioned it, Brent, the fact they've played the likes of some really heavy hitters, particularly an Anthony Wayne team that's typically nationally ranked year in, year out. So both these teams more than battle-tested in what should be a good non-conference matchup here this afternoon.
Well, and finally you get weather that the game, the sport, was supposed to be played in. I know it's difficult, and I know especially for pitchers, but you see fielding percentages, maybe not quite so much batting averages, but ERAs especially when you play in the first 3, 4, sometimes 5 weeks of a season where if you're lucky, and we saw this last week when we did our first softball game where the temperature was about 39, but with the wind chill it was about 34, it's going to affect the numbers. It's going to affect play. Finally, when you see the weather warm up, you see teams play more to their capability, and those numbers become a bit more believable, so to speak.
Well, you're right. Last Thursday is a great example. We're a high of 39 degrees when we saw Ayersville host last week.
Yep.
But again, the way that affected people, you saw that both pitchers kind of struggled early, did not really get warmed up quick enough perhaps, but they kind of settled in. But today it could be the hitters that maybe get out on top here. Again, with the good hitting conditions, the ball should carry a little bit. And what's a gorgeous facility here at Defiance High School.
Well, what we're going to do as they continue to talk at home plate is take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll get ready for the playing of our national anthem. You're watching the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Defended it.
Back at Defiance High School, we get set for first pitch, but right now, time for the national anthem, brought to you by the Defiance County Veterans Office. National anthem in the books, and our thanks going out to our underwriter for the Star Spangled Banner, the Defiance County Veterans Office.
Defiance Bulldogs. In order to make this contest as enjoyable as possible, please represent your school.
Defiance in their all-blue uniforms with the white lettering and numerals from top to bottom. Fairview in their traveling black uniforms with the gold lettering and white numerals with the gold trim.
Great, by remembering to respect the game. Now here are the lineups for today's game.
Starting lineups, as we gave them to you before. For the Apaches, let's go ahead and give you the starting lineups again. And there you take a look at the Apaches and their batting order. Mavis, Kuhlman, Grinnell, Peck, Perez, Mavis, Sharp, Warner, and Vogelsong. Again, from top to bottom there, Scoop. What really is impressive, not a single starter is hitting below 300. That you just don't have that. You don't see that.
It's just incredible. Your lowest batting average is 318. Wow, that makes it awfully tough for the pitcher. And then you look at that number 9 spot with Liberty Vogelsong hitting 486 and an on-base percentage of 500. Boy, that's like having that second leadoff hitter to set the table for the top of the order, which is certainly going to be robust as well.
Tell you what, I'll do you one better. It's like having another cleanup batter in the 9 hole. If you get anybody aboard anywhere between 5 through 8, and you've got a hitter in the 9 hole that's hitting almost 500, my goodness, she's going to be chasing some ducks off the pond.
You're right, and I think that's what's going to make it tough. I think both these teams have the ability to score at any time in the order. Some teams you look at them, it's like, okay, the top of the order, we got a really good chance putting runs up. Bottom part of the order, not so much. I think for both these teams today, I don't think it's going to be matter. So I think getting those leadoff hitters on base, and then we mentioned it a little bit a while ago, getting those clutch 2-out hits with runners in scoring position, that's what this game could boil down to here this afternoon.
There you take a look at the Bulldogs. Let's take a look at the Bulldogs defensively, though, gentlemen. We'll wait for them when they come up. Here we go defensively, as we talked about it. Natalie Ordway, the sophomore, in the circle. Chloe Seiler, another sophomore, completes the battery. From left to right on the infield. Junior, senior, freshman, senior. Gutierrez, Cullen, Roth, and Jalad. From left to right in the outfield, it goes sophomore, junior, freshman, Ward, Rollison, and Miller. And they are most likely going to get a workout this afternoon. Anything hit to the air, my guess is you're going to play a little deeper than usual. Much easier to come in on a ball than to have to go back on it. The dimensions, if we can get a shot, there you see 205 to straightaway center field. It's 205 pretty much everywhere, right field and left field. Last of the warm-ups as the throw goes down to second from Seiler. There was nobody covering, so she throws to Cullen, the shortstop. Tell you what, though, with Vita Caceres graduating, along with Tegan Larson, a couple of other seniors, but it's an all-new battery this year, Scoop. You go from a pair of seniors to a pair of sophomores. So I don't want to say growing pains, but you want to develop that chemistry as quickly as possible if you're the coaching staff, because they're going to be expected, they're going to be asked to play a lot more mature than underclass.
Well, they're going to have to, you know. They're certainly filling some big shoes there as well. But, again, if you want to be a strong team, you've got to be tough at the middle, and it certainly starts in the circle and behind the dish. So, certainly, going to get tested here. We mentioned it, 2 quality teams here going at it. Fairview back in action with a big conference game tomorrow night, I believe, with Paulding. And, of course, Defiance hits the road against a 7-1 Lincoln View team. So both these teams will have busy weeks here ahead of them.
Extremely busy. It's not just 2 games this week. It's 3, 4 in one case. But we'll break that down for you as the game wears along. As leading things off, it will be Kayla Mavis digging in from the right side, hitting .333. Ordway toes the rubber, and the sophomore deals. We are underway. One and 0. This one misses upstairs. Ball 2. Mavis, an on-base percentage of .360 on the season. Batting average of .318, and she pops this one foul. Goes right over the top of our first base camera. Going to get hazard pay here this afternoon, gentlemen. 2-1. Ordway paints the black on the outside corner. That was a nifty-looking curve, and just like that, we're tied at 2-2.
Yeah, good-looking pitch that time. Probably a good hold. A tough pitch that had a lot of glove side run to it.
2-2. This one a chopper foul, third base side. Looking at the outfield, and as expected, and in particular, Allie Ward in left playing a little deeper than usual. Rollison in center. She's taking over Taylor Bibler, who was a lightning-quick center fielder last year, as a changeup got her out on her front foot. You could see Mavis try and check her swing. She just couldn't. That pitch was dirty. A strikeout for the first out of the ball game.
Oh, what a filthy pitch there to retire Mavis on. Mavis completely fooled. She was way out in front, could not hold up. Impressive starts there for Natalie Ordway.
So here's Samantha Kuhlman hitting .372, standing very deep in the box. Lefty slapper takes a strike.
Well, I think that changeup for strike 3 is maybe going to give Ordway some confidence here early on, try to settle the youngster in.
She's not wasting any time as she deals. I'm guessing that was a rise ball. A little too much rise as it goes all the way to the backstop.
Yeah, you want that rise ball to be a little bit more competitive. It's such a tough pitch to lay off, but when it starts out at your letters, you know that's going to be an easy hold. That evens the count up at 1-1.
The 1-1. She took a little bit of an indecisive offer on a pitch on the outside corner, and just like that, Ordway ahead in the count, 1-2.
Yeah, right now, Kuhlman just trying to slap it the other way, but that time kind of caught in between.
The 1-2 on the way. Another changeup just off the outer third.
Well, that's a quality pitch.
Yep.
A really good miss right there. Just an inch or two off the plate there. But again, just enough to try to entice. Good hold that time from Kuhlman.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ordway deals. This one chopped foul. She stays alive. Tell you what, I'm looking at Gutierrez, who's now come in even further down the third base line. She must be a good 6 feet in front of the bag.
Oh, I think probably at least that, if not more. And there's a good hold again. That's going to work the count full. So right now, a quality at bat by Kuhlman, who has seen 6 pitches. This will be pitch number 7 of the at bat. Trying to give the Apaches a jump start here with 1 out.
Ordway deals. Got her swinging. Strike 3. Boy, she's nibbling on those corners. 2 up, 2 down, both via the K.
Oh, good-looking pitch. You can make a living if you can locate down there on the outside edge, down there at the knees. A quality pitch there on the payoff pitch. And Natalie Ordway now with 2 strikeouts.
Up steps the toughest hitter in the lineup, and this one blooped past first base. It's going to be a race to the bag, and how about Addie Roth? First pitch swinging off the bat of Courtney Grinnell. You don't see this at first very often. Unassisted 4, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We have played through 1/2 inning. Apaches nothing. Bulldogs coming to the plate. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
Now back at Defiance, first batter of the bottom of the first, Addie Miller, first pitch swinging, and she grounds out to shortstop Courtney Grinnell, making a tremendous play. She had to come in on that ball and throw off her back foot, and she got the speedy Miller by a step. So one pitch, one out, as this will bring up Ava Cullen. Cullen hitting .406 on the season, takes a strike on the outside corner. Will set the Defiance batting order after this pitch, as this one misses upstairs. Let's take a look at the Bulldogs lineup. The Bulldogs batting order. There we go. Nope, that's defensive. Here we go. Swing and a miss as you see Cullen coming up empty. Miller, Cullen, and the sophomore Chloe Seiler hits third. Ellie Ward, another underclassman, batting in the cleanup spot. You got Natalie Ordway hitting for herself. Gutierrez, Roth, and Jalad. As this one a shot to shortstop. Long throw over, and I tell you what, Courtney Grinnell has flashed some pretty fancy leather in the first two Defiance hitters.
Well, she really has. Two tremendous plays there. A lot of times both those runners are going to reach base, but credit Grinnell. You know, we knew she was awfully good coming in. She's really lived up to expectations there early. Two quick outs here for Lily Warner.
Let's take a look at the Fairview defense. As 2 up, 2 down for sophomore catcher Chloe Seiler. She takes above the letters, ball 1. Again, Lily Warner, the freshman, in the circle. All underclassmen battery with Sammy Mavis, the sophomore, behind the plate. From left to right on the infield, it goes sophomore, senior, senior, sophomore, and Vogelsong, Grinnell, Mavis, and Perez. So this one nips the inside corner to even up the count 1-1. From left to right in the green, it's freshman, senior, sophomore, Chloe Northrup, Madison Sharp, and Samantha Kuhlman. Wind continues to blow, maybe a little bit more out straight to right instead of straight out, as this one misses upstairs. Chloe Seiler hitting a .161, but again, Scoop, I'm going to say cold weather has not been a friend to her, or maybe vice versa. She is not a friend with cold weather, because last season, stats bear this out, she hit .444 with 17 runs scored.
Yeah, there's a reason she's hitting third. It's certainly early on, a smaller sample size. We have not really had great hitting conditions early, but I look for those numbers to quickly rise here as the weather does as well.
2-2, she shows a good eye there, and the count now runs full. Boy, that wind really whipping out, now more to right field than anywhere else. Samantha Kuhlman is very deep defensively. Seiler with that open stance, swing and a miss, and it's a 1-2-3 inning as both teams' pitchers coming out strong to start off the ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're through one. No score at Defiance. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Back at Defiance, the warm-up pitches finished for the underclassman, Natalie Ordway. As she retired the Apaches in order in the top of the first, so she will face 4, 5, and 6. Adrian Peck, the DH. Amaya Perez, the first baseman on deck, and Sammy Morris, the catcher, in the hole. Peck digs in. Takes a first pitch strike. Well, I'm looking at Peck, and rather clear, she spent some time in the weight room. She is a very solidly put together young lady.
Yeah, and her numbers back it up. Mentioned another hitter well above 300, on-base percentage nearly 400. So she's certainly been very solid out of that cleanup position.
She got a little ornery on me. She was hiding on the very last stat line of the batting averages for Fairview. I had to hunt, but she was worth the search, 323. And again, as we talked about, it's not just the batting averages, Scoop, but it's the on-base percentages. These players have good eyes. They don't go chasing. They find ways aboard as she checks a swing here. That's a great example of it. Now she's ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, it's really incredible. You look at Fairview's numbers as a team, their on-base percentage of 421.
It's
I mean,
excellent.
They're getting 2-3 runners on base each and every inning. So, boy, they've been some tough outs as those numbers prove they're 1 through 9 in the order.
3-1. We'll see if she gets something to work with as Ordway deals. This one a shot back up the middle, snared by Ordway. Tremendous reflexes, and we've got one away.
Oh, that's a big-time play by Natalie Ordway. That looked like that was going to be trouble. A chopper right up the middle, but great reflexes there from the sophomore that takes away a would-be hit there from Peck.
So here's Perez. Yeah, you go from 323 in the 4-hole, to Perez, who steps in the 5-hole, hitting just 359. You don't get a break anywhere in this Fairview lineup.
No, you don't, and certainly Perez handles the bat well. She leads the team in sack, but again, also very good hitting average there out of the 5 spot. Right now, I think we've both been surprised. We've had 7 up, 7 down. What should be a good offensive day for both teams.
1-1. This one a worm burner. 2-1. Ordway taking a little extra time here, trying to gather herself as she deals the 2-1. This one inside out, down to first, and nifty snare by Jalad as she kicks the cushion. 2 away. So it's not just the pitching, but we've seen some really solid defense through the first inning and the third here.
Yeah, both teams really flashing some leather early. That was a nifty play there from Jalad. One of those balls that can easily eat you up, and she handled it well, made that look routine.
So here's Sammy Mavis hitting .318, digging in with 2 down and nobody aboard. Frozer on a first pitch changeup. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do but tip your cap to the opposition, and that's one of the things Mavis had to do there because Ordway dealt a dirty changeup.
Yeah, what a great first pitch strike, pitching backwards, and there she comes with the heat, and that time a little bit behind there by Sammy Mavis. So great job by Ordway once again as she gets on top of Sammy 0-2.
Well, she sees that changeup that just kind of freezes her, and then all of a sudden she slows her bat down with the fastball there. Tough to catch around on it. 0-2, what do you do here if you're Ordway? Well, she came right at her, and I tell you what, Mavis just missed. She was sitting on it, just didn't get the barrel of the bat on.
Tell you what, that did not look like a two-strike swing there from Mavis.
No.
She was going for the downs, had a healthy swing that time, just misses it, fouls it straight back. The count remains 0-2.
Ordway deals. This one fouled straight back. She rode the ladder on her a little bit, changed eye level. Mavis hanging tough with 2 strikes.
Yeah, here for Ordway, there's nothing wrong with challenging a hitter, but be smart. You don't want to miss down the middle. You maybe want to miss off the plate a little bit, maybe upstairs with that rise. We'll see what happens here.
0-2 on the way again. Another changeup. That was tremendous. I don't know how many players, especially in softball, can reset their load. Mavis offered, stopped, reset, and fouled that one away. That'll go down as a foul ball in the book, but Scoop, that was a tremendous swing.
Yeah, great job of spoiling that tough pitch, and there she spoils another.
Hanging tough.
And right now we've seen a flurry of strikes here from Ordway. I think this will be the 6th pitch of the at-bat, and still 0-2 the count.
Mavis has fouled away 4 2-strike pitches. Let's see what she gets here. Checks her swing, and Ordway finally deals a ball.
I love to see pitchers that have confidence in that changeup. So we've seen it 3 times here with Mavis alone there in this AB.
So 1-2, Ordway quickly toes the rubber, deals. Mavis is proving to be pesky as she fouls away her 5th pitch.
Yeah, this has been a great AB because Ordway right now is really hitting spots. She's mixing it up. She's going upstairs, downstairs, moving it inside out. That was a good-looking fastball just around the knees.
1-2, pulls a string, and she catches another piece of it.
Yeah, it looked like a replay from about 4 pitches ago where she had to have that little hitch there way out in front, but she picked that front leg up again, was able to try to fight that the other way. She fouls it back one more time, but the count still remains in Ordway's favor at 1-2.
This will be the 10th pitch of this at-bat. Battle of attrition. Ordway deals. This one scoots across the plate. Mavis takes to even the count up at 2-2. So 2-2. Ordway deals. This one a humpback liner into short, ranging over. It's almost like the ball came to Cullen. She barely had to move. Scored F6. And finally, that very elusive 3rd out recorded here in the top of the 2nd. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're through 1.5. No score. Fairview and Defiance. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Back at Defiance, they've finished their warm-up pitches, throw down to second, and we get set to resume play. Bottom of the 2nd. No runs, no hits, no errors for either Fairview or Defiance. Pitching and defense taking center stage here in the early going. For the Bulldogs, it will be 4, 5, and 6. Ward, Ordway, and Gutierrez taking their first cuts of the afternoon against the freshman Lily Warner. Warner sets, deals. First pitch swinging. Ward right through it for strike 1. Ward hitting a healthy .364 through the first 10 games of the season. But, Scoop, that's no surprise. A season ago, she hit well above .500. Swing and a miss. Boy, I tell you what, Warner has lived dangerously with 2 pitches up around the letters, but Ward unable to barrel either one of them up, and now all of a sudden the count 0-2.
Well, that second pitch had just enough rise on it that Ward wasn't able to square that up.
The 0-2 on the way. This one lined into right field on one hop. Kuhlman's got it. First hit of the ball game for either team, and it comes on an 0-2 count as Ellie Ward is the first base runner for the Bulldogs.
Well, that's a great at-bat by Ward. You know, she missed a fastball. I think she felt she should square up there in that first pitch. She stayed with it. And that time she hit the high rise ball the other way. We have our first runner on base of the contest along with our first hit.
So here's Ordway digging in with a chance to help herself out. She swings through the first pitch, forces a smile, strike one. Ordway entering this afternoon's contest hitting .346. Give you one guess what she hit a season ago, Scoop.
.346.
.346, exactly what she's walking into the box with today. As this one, a liner on one hop, nicely played by the shortstop, and Grinnell goes to Mavis, and Mavis wisely eats the softball. She thought about turning. There's a little bit of a collision on the bag, nothing out of the ordinary, but if you turn and pivot, you're most likely throwing that ball down the right field line.
Well, two good plays in one right there. Credit Grinnell. She made a tough glove play, made a strong throw there to Mavis, and Mavis did the smart thing. You're not going to turn two.
Nope.
On Ordway on that ball, so instead of risking a throw, here's a nice-looking bunt down the third base
Gutierrez with
line.
a beauty of a bump. This is going to be top, and the ball goes off the glove of Mavis and down the right field line. They're going to go ahead and wave Ordway. No, they're not. They're going to hold her up, as that's going to be a two-base error. The question is it on the throw or is it on the field? I thought the throw was there. What do you think?
I think that's going to go down as a base hit in the air to reach second. So,
okay.
Well, that was good. That was a good-looking bunt down the third base line. It was going to be bang, bang. I think you give the batter runner the benefit of the doubt,
right.
But the mishandle there allows both runners to get an extra 60 feet.
And now instead of one aboard and two away, it's one away and two aboard, both in scoring position. We'll see if Addie Roth can bring a couple ducks off the pond. Roth squared to bunt. 0-2 the count. Well, the freshman Werner, through no fault of her own, is really going to have to bow her neck here.
Yeah, right now you just got to be situational. Find a way to move the softball, put it in play, drive home a run.
The 0-2 misses way upstairs. Mavis was quickly out of her crouch. Again, you got a freshman pitcher and a sophomore catcher, so a very young battery. And we'll see how Warner handles the first pressure situation of the evening. Got her swinging. Strike three. Was that a rise ball?
That was a rise ball. Good-looking pitch that time from Warner. Boy, a much-needed strikeout, although she's not out of the woods yet, but that's a big second out there for the Apache defense.
Warner 3-0 on the season. 9 appearances with a 6.77 ERA.
Yeah, opponent's hitting .326.
Shot up the middle. That'll bring one home. It will bring two home as Gutierrez rounding third. She will score with a clutch 2 out. 2 RBI single by Amira Jalad. And that makes the score now should be 2-0.
Well, Brent, you talked about in the pregame the importance of getting those clutch 2-out hits. That time, just what the doctor ordered for the Bulldogs is they strike first. And how about Jalad there coming through with a 2-run single there, 2 outs.
So here's Victoria King Maeku. Very diverse young lady. Plays softball. She's also a member of the Spirit Squad. And how about a drum majorette as the runner goes, and I'm not sure what happened there, but that's going to be easy pickings at second. Score at 2-6, caught stealing. And Victoria King Maeku will actually lead off next inning, as that will bring an end to Defiance's bottom of the second, but not before they put up a crooked number. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, actually 1 error, and nobody left the board. We are through 2, Bulldogs 2, Apaches nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Again, thank you to Legacy Living Defiance.
Top of the third. We welcome you back to Defiance. Brent Balbanon alongside Scoop Miller. It will bring up the bottom of the Apache order, 7, 8, and 9. Madison Sharp, Lily Warner, and Liberty Vogelsong will take their first cuts of the afternoon against Natalie Ordway, sophomore starting pitcher for the Bulldogs, who enters the circle with something she hasn't enjoyed so far this afternoon. The lead, 2-0.
Yeah, they say shutdown innings win games. So right now, a chance for Natalie Ordway to get that shutdown inning. Their offense just put up 2 runs. Now you want to make those runs count here. Do not give anything back. Good-looking fastball right down the middle there to even the count up at 1-1.
Sharp in the 7-hole hitting a robust 378. But as we mentioned during the pregame, not a single batter in this Fairview lineup hitting under 300. You just don't see that.
Well, here they are, 7, 8, 9. You're talking 378, 350, 486, and then the lineup turns over to the top. So
that is murderer's row.
Boy, this is tough. But Natalie Ordway had been more than up to the challenge today. And there's that nasty changeup.
Did she offer? She did not. Boy, that was close.
That was. Defiance asked for the appeal. They checked it. But they said that she did not go, so a break there for Sharp, who's now up, count even at 2-2.
Swings and misses on a good-looking rise ball, strike 3. And the leadoff hitter retired here in the Fairview third.
Again, great job by Ordway, her third strikeout, and she has not issued a walk yet, so she's really done her job there, trusting her defense, attacking the zone. Well, that's a big first out to retire the senior Madison Sharp.
So that'll bring up Lily Warner, the freshman. Takes an off-speed pitch around the ankles, and what was the call there?
Strike 1. So she's really mixing in some off-speed pitches, pitching backwards here a little bit. But again, she's getting hitters in negative counts.
Well, Warner right on the plate, and she swings through this one and down the count quickly, 0-2.
Well, right now the velo, I think, is really picked up here for Ordway as well. So you mix that with that filthy changeup. Boy, it's made it awfully tough for Fairview first time through to get some quality at bats.
And she takes strike 3. I'm not sure what she was looking for there, but she just couldn't pull the trigger. That's a backwards K. And Ordway has struck out the first 2 hitters she's faced here in the third.
Impressive start here in the third inning for Ordway once again, who gets her 4th punch out, but now will have to go through the hot-hitting Liberty Vogelsong, hitting 486 out of the 9 spot.
Vogelsong, just a sophomore. First pitch swinging, pops this one up in foul territory. What a great over-the-shoulder running catch by Addie Roth. The freshman with a web gem, all smiles as she makes it look easy, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We will head to the bottom of the third. Bulldogs 2, Apaches nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Now we head to the bottom of the third. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors for Defiance, no runs on no hits, and 1 error for Fairview. Actually, it should be 1 hit, excuse me. As in the circle. Boy, first pitch swinging, and Victoria King-Maeku, who was in the batter's box in the bottom of the last inning when Jalad was thrown out trying to steal second, will lead it off. King-Maeku, slightly open stance. Inside outs this one. Foul almost in the exact same spot as the last pitch. 0-2. King Maeku hitting a $143, but again, Scoop, I'm going to chalk that up to just nasty weather conditions in the early part of the season because she was a solid 327 last year. As this one fisted, slow roller down to first. And, the ball squirts out of the glove of the second baseman, and that's going to be an extra station. Kayla Mavis couldn't hang on to it. I thought Perez was just going to tag her, but instead she must have felt she was too far off the baseline to be able to do so, and that's going to be a two-base error.
Credit King Maeku that time for getting out of the box and hurry and forcing that throw.
Is it on the throw or the fielder, in your opinion?
I think that's going to be a two-base error. I marked that down as a
E4, though, or an E3? That's what I'm asking you what you think, because the ball was in her glove. Most of the time the coach will tell me, you can get your leather on it, you should be able to catch it. What are you going to score that as?
I'm going to score it as E4. But again, it's certainly going to be a tough play, but I think a good play certainly would have retired her. We'll see if Defiance can cash in once again. They took advantage of the Fairview error an inning ago. Were able to put up 2 runs, one being unearned that last inning. Right now have their leadoff man on second base. The Apaches yet to retire a batter.
Well, the lineup rolls over as Miller looking at a 1-1. Again, King Maeku is very fleet of foot. So anything to the outfield, I'm going to take a solid guess and think that they'll waive her, especially with a little bit of cushion, 2-0 lead. I don't want to say you can be a riverboat gambler. Ooh, what a heavy swing by Miller, and she fouls it straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think even with no outs, I think you send her on any type of base hit to the outfield, especially that Fairview outfield really playing deep here with the wind blowing out. You've got a little bit of separation there from the outfielders in the infield.
2-2, misses upstairs, and the count now full. Well, softball, clearly different, especially in this category with its kissing cousin baseball, as you'll see a lot of freshmen pitching, whereas you just don't see it that often in the sport for the guys. And this one misses upstairs, and that's a quality at bat by Addie Miller as she draws a walk to put runners at first and second.
Yeah, that's huge because this is where you want Ava Cullen up right now. No place to put you at first and second. Trying to extend the lead, something that's always important in softball. You can't sit on a 2-0 lead against a heavy-hitting Fairview team. Right now, a chance to extend this 2-0 advantage.
Cullen already with 2 homers. She sends a rocket into left field. And are they going to hold King Maeku up? They are.
That ball was almost hit too hard. That got out to Gracie Poper out there in left field in a hurry. So great job getting it in. But right now, Defiance has the table set here. And here comes the 3-hitter, Chloe Seiler, who wants to redeem herself from that strikeout back in the first inning.
She's got a chance to bring home a run here with nobody out. You figure just put the ball in play. Anything other than an infield fly rule is going to score at least 1. As she takes a strike. Seiler does have a home run to her credit so far this season. She's got 5 RBI. She'd love 6, maybe more as she takes in the cellar. Well, the inning started off with the error, 2 base wise, that allowed King Maeku to get aboard. Addie Miller walked. Cullen set a screamer into left field that has loaded him up. And this one misses, and now if you are Seiler, you can be particular at 2-1.
Yeah, right now you're not just looking at any strike. You're looking at your strike, so get something in your nitro zone, something that you can hit hard to any part of the field.
This one popped up right side. Is it deep enough? It's in and out of the mitt of Mavis. 1 run will score. They will get the force at second, and now trying to take home, and Mavis can't hang on to the ball. The throw beat the runner, but Miller will score, and taking second is Seiler. So 2 runs come across. They do get 1 out on the force at second, but a little bit of pinball action taking place around the infield.
Yeah, very unusual play. That was deep enough. I did not see the infield fly rule go into effect, so Do you end up calling that a fielder's choice RBI? Do you call that a?
I think you call it an infield hit, don't you?
Well, they got the.
Well, you say she should have made the play.
Second,
correct?
So it's a fielder's choice,
True.
I think. But she will get the RBI and heads up base run by Seiler, who takes second base on the throw home. But Fairview there looked like they're going to get a double play out of that. But again, the ball popped out of Sammy Mavis's glove as Cullen was racing around. So the Bulldogs were able to extend their lead. They put up another crooked number here in the third inning to take a 4-0 advantage.
So King Mayeku scored. Miller scored. Cullen was thrown out, and Seiler takes second. And, yeah, Fairview's going to be looking at this inning saying, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Still only one away as Ward digs in. This one misses upstairs to make it 2-0. This one well struck deep to left center field. It will get down. It was more than deep enough to go ahead and score Seiler. As trading place with her at second base, Ellie Ward with an RBI double. And that will make it, should be 5-0, correct? Yes, 5-0 Defiance.
Great looking swing by Ellie Ward once again. I mean, she's got such a good looking swing. She's got so much pop in that bat. That ball got to the outfield in a hurry. A nice looking gap shot there by Ward. It drives in another run.
Swing and a miss. Natalie Ordway with a run scored to her own credit, trying to help out her own cause here as her team has exploded for 3 here in the bottom of the third. Well, she looks skyward as she knows she went fishing on that pitch. Now down on the count 0-2.
That's that tough pitch to lay off. Good looking rise that time from Lily Warner. Right now she's got to try to find a way to minimize things here in this third inning.
Off speed, this one a liner past a diving Grinnell. That's going to be enough to go ahead and wave Ward around third. She will score on an RBI single by Natalie Ordway. It's now 6-0 Bulldogs.
A great at-bat by Ordway, who was fooled on that rise ball the pitch before, but she doesn't let it haunt her at all. She comes right back. Good-looking swing. Another clutch hit to drive home another run. Defiance right now really cruising as her offense has exploded here in this third inning.
So here's Bella Gutierrez already 1 for 1 with a bunt single. She's first pitch swinging, sends one. Humpback liner down the right field line, drifts foul. So 0-1. What's been impressive for several of the Defiance hitters in this inning, though, Scoop, down in the count, and in a couple of cases deep in the count, and yet they've been able to get a good pitch and a good swing off.
Yeah, that's what's really been impressive, the fact they haven't really given up much, even though they've gotten some negative counts. They've come up not just quality swings, but 3 really big base hits in this inning. They now have 6 hits in the last 2 innings combined.
One key error that started the whole inning off. As this one misses upstairs, Gutierrez with good patience. 2-1 the count. And here's where, if you're Warner, you just have to bow your neck. You know that it's not necessarily your fault, but it's like quicksand. 1 mistake becomes 2, 2 becomes 3. You just have to kind of grit your teeth and really lock in and say, you know what, it's 0-0 moving forward.
Yeah, you got more than half the game ahead of you. So right now, just kind of flush what's happened. Go out there, execute the next pitch, win the next pitch, try to get some momentum.
Upstairs, the runner goes, throw down to second, and did the tag get made? Yes, it did. What a throw by Mavis, and we have a bad angle from where we're at down the third base line, but a nice tag by Courtney Grinnell for out number 2.
Well, how about Sammy Mavis, who's now thrown out 2 would-be base stealers here for Defiance.
Count full. Popped up. It will get out of play.
Once again, a good quality swing there with 2 strikes by Gutierrez that time to extend the AB. Payoff pitch coming up one more time.
And I'm looking at Samantha Kuhlman in right. She has got 1 foot, it looks like, on the warning track.
You can't hit one overhead. If you do,
No,
it's going to be
gone.
leave the yard.
Yep. This one misses, and it's ball 4. A 2-out walk for Gutierrez as she strolls down to first. Brings up Addie Roth.
Now hitting second baseman, Addie Roth.
Well, Roth was a strikeout victim just an inning ago, but you see in Defiance here the second time through really get some quality swings here against Warner. So, again, they made some good adjustments. You know, they went quietly in that first inning, 1, 2, 3, but I think the second time around especially, boy, they're really seeing the softball well.
1-0. Strike on the inside corner. We'll say this, Warner's not afraid to work inside. You see so many high school pitchers, and in particular underclassmen. I don't want to say they're afraid, but they're nervous to work the inner half, inner third. She does not appear to be so. 1-1, swing and a miss, and she changes eye level there.
Yeah, good-looking pitch by Warner. Again, has a negative count here on Roth. But, again, we've seen it time and time again this inning. Defiance continues to hit the ball well down the count. We'll see if they can do it one more time.
1-2, Warner deals. This time she lays off. Roth, patient, works the count to 2-2. Two on the way. Got her swinging. Strike 3. Addie Roth, the strikeout victim for the second time in as many at-bats. And that will do it for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the third, but not before they come up big. 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left the board. We are through 3. Bulldogs 6, Apaches nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Top of the fourth, 6 runs up on the scoreboard for the host Bulldogs, 4 of them coming in the bottom half of that last frame as the underclassmen in the circle for Defiance. Sophomore Natalie Ordway has been staked with plenty of offense. As we are in the 4th inning, we'll go ahead and turn the lineup over. Leadoff hitter Kayla Mavis to start it off. Samantha Kuhlman on deck. Courtney Grinnell in the hole right now. The sophomore has yet to face a batter over the minimum.
Well, she's been spotless, retired the first 9 hitters in order for them via the strikeout. She's also had some good defense behind her. But right now, the second time through for the Apaches. So we'll see if Fairview can make those nice adjustments that we saw the Defiance offense execute, especially in that last inning where they put up 4 runs there on 3 big hits.
1 ball, 1 strike. Mavis struck out swinging to open up the game. I don't want to call it a must-score inning scoop, but you've surrendered 6 over the last 2, and especially the way they surrendered at least 2 of those runs in the bottom of that last inning. You at least want to put some pressure on the defense this inning.
Yeah, I think this is a big mental inning right here. You know, you got to get some psych back. You have to find a way to stop the bleeding, get a momentum on your side. Still a lot of softball ahead of you, but again, I think it could go a long way just from the mindset if they can scratch out a run or 2 here in this inning.
Well, that ball worm-burned right across the plate, and we're going to have a meeting in the circle. Is Ortman okay? Maybe just more of a mental boost.
Yeah, I like this. You know, they're trying to give her some confidence. Hey, we've got you. You know, we've got you. Let them hit the softball. Let us make the plays here. Pitch with the lead. Attack the zone.
3-1. This one misses inside. Ball 4, and the Apaches have their first base runner of any kind here this afternoon.
Again, great job by Mavis. She leads the team in so many offensive categories. That's a much-needed runner there for Fairview. Now trying a way to string together some hits and quality at-bats.
So here's Kuhlman digging in, hitting .372 entering today's game. She squares to bunt. This one's upstairs. The runner does not advance. Well, as long as they were in the dugout during that 4-run bottom of the third, too, it's not uncommon to maybe kind of lose your edge or your focus a little bit. It was a long time in the dugout as your teammates were scoring you some runs, but now we'll see how the sophomore handles things, not just after the long layoff, but also after surrendering the first base runner.
Yeah, a lot of times you have that long inning where you're batting around. You might send somebody down there to get some reps in with that long bat, but she did not. But we'll see if she can make the adjustment.
1-1 misses upstairs. Another quick throw back to the pitcher.
Right now, Kuhlman, again, that slapper, she's got great speed. She leads Fairview with 11 stolen bases, so you know she has wheels, trying to put the ball in play to the left side.
And this one misses low and away. Oh, apparently no, it did not. All right, let's make it 2-2. I didn't see the home plate umpire raise his arm, but there we go. 2-2. This one scoots away from the catcher. Seiler sees it go to the backstop. That's more than enough for Mavis to take second base on the wild pitch. And now I'm watching the body language of Ordway, and she just kind of sighed heavy. To her credit, she's stepping off the rubber, checking her wristband, deep breath. This is where you just got to slow yourself down. 3-2. Got her looking. Strike 3 on the outside corner. And Kuhlman didn't like the call, but she heads back to the dugout.
Oh, that was the perfect pitch, right on the outside edge there. Just caught the black there a little bit. Big punch out there for Ordway, her 5th of the afternoon.
Well, in digs the best hitter and toughest out in the Apache lineup in shortstop Courtney Grinnell. Holds there, but takes a strike on the outer third. She's 0 for 1, first pitch swinging. She sent a pop-up that was fielded by Addie Roth at second, and she run the race to the bag to end the first inning. Checks her swing here.
And how about the numbers on Grinnell, hitting .765 with runners in scoring position. Well, you talk about getting it done in crunch time. She's done that. She also leads the team in walks, RBIs, hits, runs scored, and batting average.
Ooh, took a healthy swing there and comes up empty. She's just a ball player. There's no. She passes the eye test when she gets off the bus.
Yeah, she's one of those players that could play at the next level. If she decided to. No question.
She broke Coach Danielle Lowe's heart at Findlay as she lines this one down the left field line. Great backhanded snare by Ward, but it's going to be enough to score the first run of the game, and heads up on the throw home. She takes second, although I think that probably would have been a double out of the box anyway, and that is what you call clutch hitting, as Courtney Grinnell with a 1-out RBI double, and it puts the Apaches on the board.
Well, that .765 batting average with runners in scoring position just went up a few points there with that solid shot down the left field line. Great base running by Grinnell to take second base on the throw in.
So here's Peck digging in. Takes off speed outside. And finishing that thought, Courtney Grinnell had, I believe it was multiple D2 offers, not the least of which Coach Danielle Lowe at Findlay came hard after her, but she said she wanted to go to school for agriculture. Now, I'm still going to have to get clarification from Coach Dumeyer because she said she's going to Iowa to study ag, and the agriculture school in the state of Iowa is actually Iowa State.
Well, you would know that, being a homegrown Iowan or whatever you're going to call yourself. But
I'm a Hawkeye alum,
There
bud.
you go.
So I was about to say she's my new favorite player, but if she's going to be a Cyclone, Courtney, I have a mad respect for your game, and I have no doubt you are a quality individual, but I need confirmation before I can go 100% or what they say all in on Courtney Grinnell on the Courtney Grinnell train. 2-1 the count to Peck. In the dirt, and look at this, standing up. She didn't hesitate at all, reading the ball in the dirt, and now Grinnell is just a station away from putting up the second run of the game for Fairview.
That's a great dirt ball read there by Grinnell. A lot of girls aren't going to advance that ball. It's just a couple feet in front of home plate. But, again, when you do things right, you get off the pitch, you see the ball down low, you get a little extra aggressive on that secondary lead. Boy, she got there nice and easy. Great-looking play.
We're going to have a visit in the circle right now, just trying to slow Natalie Ordway down. Again, you're still up by 5, Scoop, and I know that sometimes it feels like The walls might be kind of pressing in on you a little bit, but I think the reminder here is you're in command. Your team is up by 5, and you're just a couple of outs away from taking care of business and getting your mates back up again. They've scored in 2 of the last 3 innings, so this is where the freshman, I think maybe this is more mental than anything physical.
You're exactly right, because she is in control. She's only allowed the 1 hit, and that was to Grinnell, who can hit any pitcher at any time. So certainly nothing to hang your head about. But again, right now, you win the next pitch. That's got to be the mindset. You can't worry about what's already transpired.
3-1. Boy, the bottom looked like it fell out of that pitch, and Peck just looks down to third at Coach Dumeier as if to say, what was that? So 3-2. This becomes a very big pitch. It's either out number 2 or base runner number 2. Swing and a miss. She got her. Strike 3. She doubled her up.
And how about Chloe Seiler there coming up the nice glove play? That's a drop third because it hit the turf, but alert play there by Seiler to tag out Peck. Boy, a big second out there for Ordway.
So here's Perez, 0 for 1 with a ground out to first. Ordway with a deep breath. Is this one a shot up the middle? Past the diving Rothman into center field. Grinnell will score. Swinging away on the first pitch. Perez wasn't guessing. She got a fastball and punches it straight up the middle for an RBI single to make it 6-2.
Well, there's that big 2-out hit we talked about, going to be important for both teams, and credit to Perez that time for coming up big, driving home a second run. So the Apaches, nice job bouncing back, putting up a crooked number of their own. Right now trying to be greedy with 2 outs.
Ordway with a changeup, sends it down to third. Gutierrez, and nice snare by Jalad at first. The throw took her into the baseline, but she braved it. And 1 pitch makes for the 3rd out, score it 5-3. Not before the Apaches come up, though, with a couple of runs on 2 hits. No errors, and 1 left aboard. We are through 3.5. Bulldogs 6, Apaches 2. You're watching DCTV Sports. Throwback to 70s here at Defiance. Little Orleans and still the one. If you were born, I would probably say anytime before 1980, probably. See, what really scares me is you take a look at where we're at now. And actually, I'm not going to share my age. It's not going to do it. But I had somebody send me a text saying that 2000, is equally as far from 2025 as it is 1995. That kind of makes you wince a little bit, doesn't it?
Boy, it does. Certainly time flies and it accelerates as you get a little bit older there, as you and I are finding out.
Yeah, we'll draw the curtain of charity on that topic. Let's go ahead and get back to softball, shall we? Here we go. Bottom of the 4th. We'll see how Defiance responds after surrendering a couple of runs in the top half of this inning, and that's just plain a good aggressive swinging as Amara Jalad, first pitch swinging, sends a laser up the middle past a diving Courtney Grinnell, and the leadoff batter is aboard.
Well, how about Jalad there, comes up aggressive, and just as Orleans just said, she's still having fun right now. She leads the Bulldogs off in this 4th inning with a solid base hit up the middle.
Oh, goodness. Brings up Victoria King-Maeku, not Lily Warner, as this one fouled straight back. King-Maeku reached on an error back in the 3rd. Came around to score 1 of 4 runs. It's just a frame ago.
Yeah, she came in, scored on that nice shot by Cullen to left field.
This one upstairs, it's off the mid of Mavis, goes to the backstop. And Jalad down to second base on the wild pitch.
A great job by Jalad. Now gets in the scoring position that takes away the potential double play ball RBI opportunity now coming up for Defiance.
1-1. Swing and a miss. King Maeku got a little long with that one. And the count 1-2.
Yeah, I think Maeku would like to have that one back one more time, but right now, be situational. Find a way to move Jalad from second to third base.
The 1-2 shot up the middle, and it gobbled up Courtney Grinnell. She did everything she could to keep it on the infield. Scoop, it stayed low, but it did take a second hop, and it looked like it had a little extra English, and it just rolled up the heel of her glove.
Well, that ball was hit awfully hard, and a tough play there on that kind of in-between hop there by Grinnell, who did all she could, as you mentioned, to keep it in play. But right now, Defiance looking to tack on here with runners on the corner, and the lineup turns over to leadoff hitter Addie Miller.
Addie Miller, first pitch swinging, fouls this one up the third base line. Miller entered today's game hitting .333. Right now, runners at the corners, and after surrendering a pair in the top half of the frame, Bulldogs looking to get some of that back. Warner checks her wristband, comes home inside. Mavis has it go off of her mitt, and as you would expect, at some point in time, they were going to send the runner, and that is going to be down to second base for King Maeku.
Yeah, good jump that time by King Maeku that time, who goes into second base standing up with that stolen base.
1-1. Make it 2-1. Warner, long look in, sets, deals. This one tomahawked into left center field. It will go all the way to the wall, and it's going to score a pair. Gelada's home. King Maeku will score standing up into second with a 2 RBI double. Addie Miller gets them back as it's now 8-2 Bulldogs.
Wow, what a great swing by Addie Miller. That ball left the infield in a hurry. That ball was hit on the screws. She had to go upstairs for it. As you mentioned, sort of tomahawked it to the gap. But that's going to clear the bases, and the Bulldogs come right back with another crooked number as they plate 2.
Still nobody out for Ava Cullen. Cullen hitting .406 on the season, entering today's game. She had 9 RBI, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs. And last year, she had 8 home runs, and with the wind blowing out, you cannot make a mistake upstairs to the future Ball State player. She's going to make you pay.
No, and you know she's swinging if she gets something in her wheel well.
Takes here. I don't want to ask if they're pitching around her, more so just being very, very cautious. But we're about to find out if Warner wants any piece of Ava Cullen on a 3-0 count. Freshman deals. Lifted, but just got underneath it. Wind taking it back into right center, but a nice call and catch made by Madison Sharp. 1 down.
Well, that's a big out to retire Cullen, who had the green light here, 3-0. And great job that time by Warner. She made some quality pitches there to Cullen. You know, she just missed off the edges, but she was trying to attack the senior.
Still not out of the woods as Chloe Seiler will dig in with a runner at second, only 1 away. Warner deals, bunts. This one back to the pitcher, and she chucks it down the right field line. Rounding third, Miller will score. Rounding second, and standing up into third, Chloe Seiler. Make it 9-2 Bulldogs.
How about Defiance throwing in some small ball here this afternoon? A couple times they've laid down the bunt. Both times Fairview has ended up throwing away. But I think Seiler was going to beat that out. But she does get 2 extra bases on the throwing air down the right field line. And that plates another Defiance run. And Seiler now on third base, and the dangerous Ellie Ward up to bat. Ward, a single back in the second, a double into third. Looking to keep that hit string going.
Ward takes high and tight.
That's what you have to do against a pitcher like Warner. You have to lay off those marginal pitches. That was that rise ball just up in the letters. And right now, Ward looking for something she can turn around here and drive.
Well, one of the keys to the game from Coach Dumeyer was play clean. They averaged 2.5 errors per ball game through their first 13. They've committed 3 here this afternoon.
Yeah, you just don't have that type of margin of error when you're playing the likes of Defiance. So she knew that coming in.
Shot to short, gobbled up by Grinnell. Throw across the diamond is on the money, but it's going to come at the expense of another Defiance run as Seiler crosses home plate to make it 10-2.
That's a great at-bat there by Ellie Ward. You got the infield deep. You got a runner on third, less than 2 outs. Does a good job. Healthy swing there. Drives one to the left side. That'll go down as an RBI there on the 6-3 putout.
So 2 down, base is empty. Ordway steps in. Natalie, 1 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the second. Singled and brought home a run in the third. 1-0, fly ball into right center field, and it's going to travel. Rounding first, and the sophomore scampers into second base standing up with the 2-out double.
How about Natalie Ordway? Have a day. She's reached base all 3 times and scored a run, but now she has a single and double to her credit. Defiance hit parade continues.
Third baseman, Bella Gutierrez.
So here's Bella Gutierrez. 1 for 1 with a walk, a double, and a run scored as this one scoots her off the plate.
Well, I have Defiance unofficially for 11 hits in the last 3 innings alone.
Chopper down to third, snared by Vogelsong across the diamond. Nice stretch by Perez. Score at 5-3 for the final out here in the bottom of the 4th, but not before Defiance comes up with another big inning. 4 runs on 4 hits. 2 errors and 1 left aboard. We're through 4. Bulldogs 10, Apaches 2. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Top of the 5th. Both teams went scoreless in the first inning. And since then, Defiance has found their offense. 2 runs in the bottom of the 2nd, 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd, and the bottom of the 4th. For the Apaches, they finally got on the board an inning ago, but they gave twice what they scored back up. And they trail 10-2. As the top of the 5th will bring up the bottom of the lineup. Madison Sharp will lead it off. Lily Warner on deck. Liberty Vogelsong in the hole. First pitch is a ball to the Apache center fielder, who's 0 for 1, struck out swinging to lead off the 3rd. Now, both these teams, as we talked about during the pregame, going to be very busy this week. Multiple games as this one fouled away right side. Out of play for the Apaches. Tomorrow, home versus Ayersville. Welcome, Kendra Waldron. Welcome, Ariel Brown. Welcome an Ayersville team that, despite graduating 3 seniors, a shot back to the circle. Great snare by Ordway. That's called fielding your position for the first out.
Oh, what a day by Ordway, who not only has been a threat at the plate in the circle, but now showing some nifty leather out there as well.
So as we were mentioning, home tomorrow versus Ayersville, and then a double header this weekend against Antwerp. Check that. Antwerp on the 17th, and then a doubleheader versus Van Wert. Excuse me. That's a lot of ball to cram into 1 week.
And tomorrow's going to be a monster game as the Pilots come to town. I think both teams have aspirations of finishing on top of the GMC. certainly a key early season clash in Sherwood.
On the flip side for the Bulldogs, again, they are going to be busy as well. Tomorrow they're at Lincoln View. As this one, a liner is it fair? Nope, foul down the first baseline. Just missed. There's the difference between a potential double and strike number 2.
Yeah, the Lancers are off to a great start. They're 7-1 right now, so that should be a great matchup for the Bulldogs tomorrow as well.
So again, at Lincoln View, and then on Thursday, home, check that, at St. Mary's Memorial. Then on Monday the 21st, guess who they're hosting? The Ayersville Pilots.
Oh, there we go.
We will have that broadcast for you, weather permitting.
Yeah, key WBL game tomorrow for Defiance with St. Mary's, who's also 1-0 in the league, as are the Bulldogs.
This one fouled down the right field line again. Count remains 2-2. This is again where it's different because in baseball you get a guy for one outing per week. Softball, you can run the same pitcher out there day after day after day. As this one fouled straight back. However, how much experience do you want to give some of your reserve players? Develop a bullpen or a rotation? And that's what Coach Stumeyer told me was the thinking today in throwing out the freshman instead of Peck, who's going to go tomorrow in the circle against Ayersville. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's no one blueprint.
Well, you're right. You know, Warner came in with 20 2/3 innings pitched on the season, where Peck's kind of been the workhorse. He's gone 53 1/3, but I like the idea. You know, you do have to develop some depth there in the circle. You know, that's where it all starts.
2-2, she pulled a string, misses upstairs. Even with that way out of the strike zone, it just is so tantalizing when you see the seams on that ball, don't you? Warner still had to check her swing on a ball that was, 2 feet out of the strike zone.
You slow it down that much, you just want to try to overswing, do too much, and it's so hard to hold back.
Do it again. This one lined, but she's late again. Fouled down the right field line. That's the 4th pitch she's fouled off in this at-bat.
She's given Addie Miller a workout there in right field, who's had to sprint toward that right field line multiple times here during this at-bat.
As late as she's been, do you maybe cheat a little bit over toward the line?
Absolutely.
2-2. We'll do it again. Ordway deals, pulled a string, got her! Strike 3 at the knees.
Again,
wow.
We've said it so many times. That's just a filthy pitch. You talk about having a plus change. Right there it is. And again, she picks the perfect time and locates it so well. That one right at the knees. Fantastic strikeout. That's number 7 for Natalie here this afternoon.
Dirty change. That's a plus change. And right now it has frozen more than one Apache hitter this afternoon. So here's Liberty Vogelsong digging in from the right side. 0 for 1. Flew out in foul territory to end the 3rd. It's been a while. She's late on this one, foul territory, almost the exact same spot where back in the 3rd to end it, freshman second baseman Addie Roth made a tremendous over-the-shoulder catch.
That was an incredible catch. You know, she had to put on the Jets, and then she had to deal with the fence. The ball kind of popped out of her glove. She stayed with it. That was a nifty catch.
1-1, strike 2. That one froze Vogelsong. On the way. You saw the change, and she's banging her head. That slipped out of her grip. That came out way late. And that you could have pitched a tent under.
Yeah, she took even more off of that pitch right there, but you could see she just didn't have the release that she needed. But 2s are wild now in the top half of the 5th inning here for the Apaches.
2-2 on the way, brings her a fastball. This one lined into center. On the run, and Rollison makes the catch from her knees. That wasn't an F8. That was more like a line shot to center field. And the defense flashing some pretty good leather behind Ordway as it's a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. No change in our score. Defiance 10, Fairview 2. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
You know, I could welcome us back, but when was the last time you heard Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder? We're just going to let the playover music bring us into the fifth inning here. Oh, yeah.
It's all 70s here at Defiance. No question about it.
Oh, my goodness. All right, bottom of the fifth. We're back at the task at hand. After putting up a 4 spot in each of the last 2 frames, we'll see what Defiance can do, as it will be the bottom of the order. 7, 8, and 9. Addie Ross sends basically a sharp hit ground ball past Kayla Mavis at second. First pitch swinging, and here we go again. That all-important leadoff hitter aboard for Defiance.
What a great swing by Addie Roth, who struck out her first 2 at-bats. But, wow, that was a seed there. That's a frozen rope base hit the other way. Good-looking swing there by Roth.
And with Addie Ross hit, every Defiance Bulldog has now reached base safely at least once here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's just incredible what they've been able to do. And all 9 Defiance hitters have at least 1 base hit as well. So, again, we talked about in pregame, Brent, how this is the lineup that can hurt you at any time. Doesn't matter where they're at in the lineup.
And I am looking down here at a different number. It's actually 13. It was Jada Alvarez that picked up the base hit. So our apologies to Jada, who's now standing at first.
Yeah, that was a rope. Boy, she made no doubt about that one.
Grounder to third. They go to second for 1. The relay at first is not in time as Jalad legs it out.
Well, great job by that Apache defense that time. How about Liberty Vogelsong there at third base? Fancy leather, strong throw across the infield of Mavis. Mavis tries to make that a 5-4-3. But Jalad able to hustle her way down to first base.
And are we going to have another pinch hitter here? So it looks like number 5, that's going to be Bella Rollison, is going to hit. Now, she had been the flex player at center field, so now Defiance's coaching staff, this is where the complexities of softball play a little bit of a difference, as this one bunted foul down the first base line. But I'll tell you what, she didn't stop until she crossed the bag, as she was on a dead sprint.
Yeah, that was going to be trouble if that stayed fair. As Ralston, after making that spectacular catch to end the Apache fifth, now at the dish, trying to get the bats going here for Defiance, who've scored crooked numbers in the last 3 innings.
It's a 1-1 with 1 down. A runner at first. This one fouled straight back. It looked like a rise ball. The 1-2. Fouled straight back again. That was one that Warner got away with. That was right down central, and Rollison just wasn't able to barrel it up.
Yeah, usually every AB you get that one pitch that is going to be down the wheel well. When you get it, you don't want to miss it. Rollison had a great swing, but just fouled it back.
1-2. She went after a pitch up above the letters on another rise ball, but stays alive. About an hour and 20 minutes into this one. And if Defiance was able to put another couple across, we're going to be looking at the mercy rule. As this one, a little humpback liner to short, and that's going to be a tough play. Bang, bang at second. Grinnell elects to go to get the lead runner, and Mavis hangs on to it to get the out at second base.
That's another great play. Credit Courtney Grinnell one more time. I'm not sure she's going to throw Ralston out. Ralston got a great jump out of the box. Ball not hit very hard, but a great quick throw across the infield there to Mavis. And that'll go down as a fielder's choice there for Bella Ralston.
So here's Addison Miller, who's now hitting. And this one is barreled up deep into center field, just over the outstretched glove of Sharp. They're going to go ahead and wave Rollison around third. She will score, standing up into second base with an RBI double. What a barreled up pitch. Tremendous contact by Addison Miller.
Tremendous swing, as you mentioned. Boy, that had plenty of exit velo behind it. That got to the fence in a hurry. And that time, Ralston's able to come all the way around first base and score.
As this one into left field, it will get down off the bat, I believe was that Ava Cullen. And she's going to try and stretch it into second. She's got it as the run scores. And that's going to be 10 runs. This should be the mercy rule, correct? It's now 12-2.
12-2. And credit Defiance. Wow, after going down in order in that first inning, they put up crooked numbers in the second, third, fourth, fifth inning.
That'll do it.
To 12-2 victory here against the visitors from Fairview.
The men in blue have a quick conversation, and the final score is 12-2 Defiance as they pick up their 8th win of the season against just 3 losses. For the Apaches, they now fall to an even 500 at 7-7. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will have our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Back at Defiance for the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Out of conference matchup, but still a big win here this afternoon for the Bulldogs as they go 8-3 on the season. This was a pitcher's duel through the first 2 innings, but then 4 runs apiece in the third, the fourth, one more a 2-spot, I should say, in the bottom of the fifth. Next thing you know, you're looking up, and it's 12-2, and the Bulldogs win via the mercy rule over an Apaches team that I guarantee you is going to make some waves in the GMC.
Well, you're right. And we talked about in the pregame, Brent, we thought there was going to be maybe a day where the bats were up for Defiance after being stymied to just 3 hits against Bowling Green on Saturday. They were more than ready. I think the weather helped them out a little bit. The warm bats usually kind of help you a little bit. You're a little bit more aggressive in the approach. I think the aggressive approach really paid off Defiance. They had 9 different players come up with at least 1 base hit. They put up 12 runs on 13 hits. And what impressed me, Brent, was the fact that, even though when you score that many runs, get that many hits, they only left 3 runners on base the entire game. So they got those clutch 2-out hits when they needed it. You mentioned it during the broadcast how many times they fell behind the count 1-2, but yet were able to manage a base hit to kind of keep the line moving. So great job. You talk about a team win. We saw it here this afternoon for the Bulldogs.
Well, it starts in the circle, too. And what we're seeing, I think, is a young pitcher starting to grow up right in front of our cameras. But Natalie Ordaway was strong. She had 1 inning where she gave up a 2-spot, and that was after, again, 6 runs. Maybe, I don't want to say losing your focus a little bit, but all of a sudden you're locked in offensively. She hits as well, and she struggled to kind of find her groove through the first couple of hitters. This was and still is an excellent hitting Fairview team. We talked about it. Nobody in the starting lineup hitting under 300, but she didn't let 1 2-run inning turn into a second or a third. And for the young sophomore, I think she learned maybe a little bit about herself today.
I really did. I was so impressed with her. She came out, we talked about it. She retired the first 9 Apache hitters in order, had a perfect game going to the 4th inning. And then Fairview, their credit, they came up some quality at-bats there that second time through. But again, she didn't let it phase her. She was solid. She gets the complete game win. She allowed just 2 hits, those 2 runs. And what I like, Brent, she had 7 strikeouts. She used that plus change quite a bit, and she only had the 1 walk. And I think that was the key coming in. We talked about it. You got to minimize freebies. This is a good Fairview hitting team to hold them to 2 hits, but don't give them those freebies by putting runners on base via the walk. She really did a great job. And then you throw in 2 for 3 at the plate as well. So she did her job on both sides, and she was really masterful here today in this Bulldog win.
Well, both teams will have only 24 hours to sleep on this one because they are right back at it tomorrow night. For the Bulldogs, they are on the road at Lincoln View, and for the Apaches, they are home versus Ayersville in a big GMC matchup. Our next broadcast is going to be just across the mezzanine here on Saturday. It got, I can't say rained out. It was more like frozen out. It was supposed to be the season opener, but Defiance and Napoleon are going to find ways to play each other, and that game was postponed. It will be baseball taking center stage. We expect to be on the air with our pregame at 11:30. Noon first pitch as Defiance will welcome Napoleon.